Hey everybody, this is TJR and welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. If not, welcome back. Just hanging out here with the green guy. Hey buddy, I got your shirt on. Pretty cool, huh? Anyhow though, it's a late evening right now. It's late in the evening and Robert sent me a text asking me if I knew anything about the Harry Styles controversy and if we wanted to talk about it when we do our news video. And so my first question to Robert was, who's Harry Styles? I'm kidding. I know who Harry Styles is. I've just never really listened to his music, but I know who he is. And I'll circle back to that in just a second here. So I asked Robert, what's the controversy? And he sent me a link to an article. Rolling Stone magazine, UK, had him on the cover and basically declared him the new king of pop, which of course, I think this is kind of a non-story. And if Robert and I do talk about that in a future news edition, I'll talk about why I think that is at that time. But what I wanted to do today was kind of, I guess, listen to Harry Styles, since I've never really listened to him. I figured if I am going to talk to Robert about him, I should at least listen to some of his music and have somewhat of an idea of who he is. I know he's very big on the charts. And yes, I'm one of those old boomer guys from the classic rock era, but I do listen to lots of new contemporary music. The difference is I like to hear music that's played by real musicians without any auto-tune. There is tons of that music out there. It just doesn't make its way on, contemporary radio. It doesn't chart high in the algorithms. I'm just not into this music where it's auto-tuned. It's all to a grid. It's cut and pasted. Everything's at the same beats per minute. I'm just not into this stuff, But I've never listened to Harry Styles, and I know he charts very high. So I'm going to go to Tidal here, and I've just pulled up his Tidal page here. When you pull up an artist on Tidal, and I prefer Tidal over Spotify because it's better sounding, and I won't touch Apple Music because it messes with my physical collection that I store on my drive on my phone. And I've made videos about that, but I'm not going to get into that here. But whenever you pull up an artist on Tidal, it starts with their top tracks, in case you just want to sample them. It then shows you their albums, EPs and singles, and, and then other, like, maybe places you may hear them, that sort of thing, playlists, that sort of thing. So we're going to look at just the top 3 songs here on his top tracks. The first one here is called As It Was. And so let's just go ahead here, give this a listen here. Oh, and just be aware that I need to avoid the copyright gremlins that police YouTube. So during these portions where I play the audio here on my stereo speakers, which I'm going to be playing low because I don't want to disturb my neighbors, but I'm going to probably edit out a lot of this audio portion here just to avoid the YouTube copyright gremlins. So this is As It Was. Let's give it a listen here. Okay, right there. Oh, let me listen to just a few more moments just to be sure here. Okay, right from the get-go, this track reminds me a lot of Take On Me by a-ha. That little opening synth riff there. Let's play that synth riff again here at the beginning here. Da 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 da. And the one for Take On Me is da 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 da. The keyboard has a similar tone to it, but the notes, there's just a similarity to the melody. They're not completely the same by any stretch of the imagination. These are completely different songs, but tonally, rhythmically, and that opening keyboard part, very reminiscent of Take On Me by a-ha. Let's listen to some more here. Now on this second verse here, we have the second verse here. He varies it slightly by having this little percussive effect. I don't know if you can hear it there in the background. It's subtle in the background there. This is a cool little bridge part where he's kind of like, I don't know how to put it. He's somewhere between rapping and singing, not quite either one. And it almost feels like a guitar solo. The way the way he phrases it. Let's play some of that back again here. I don't want to talk about the way it was. He's kind of half rapping, half singing, but there's this twangy feel to the way he's voicing this that almost feels a little bit like a guitar solo. It's interesting. Back to that keyboard part. He added some church bells now under that keyboard part. Bong, 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 bong. Underneath the da 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 da. The church bells give a nice flavor to it. And by making these little, by repeating that keyboard line, but putting something underneath it like the chorus, these church bells, it keeps it interesting. Otherwise, it would be a lot more boring if you just kept repeating it. And then he sings the As It Was with it. Okay, this is a nice song. And it bears more than one listen. I should probably listen to this one again because I've always said this in previous videos. Music, I always say you have to give something at least 3 listens. Yes, I know there are some songs that immediately will grab you, but they're the creme de la creme. But most music, you have to give it at least 3 listens before you really say, I like this or I don't like this. I thought this was a nice song on first listen, and it might grow on me with repeated listens. It's worth coming back to and returning, in my opinion. Let's check out the next one here on Top Tracks, which is called Watermelon Sugar.
Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song.
Okay, so remember I talked about, real instruments. First of all, he doesn't sound auto-tuned here. I don't think he was auto-tuned on the other one. I wasn't paying that much attention to it, but I like that cool little breezy guitar, the rhythm strum guitar that we hear there. Very nice. Let's listen to some more.
I want more berries and that summer feeling.
That guitar rhythm, very 70s, very, easy listening, little bit of a disco vibe going on with it. Let's listen to some more.
Breathe me in, breathe me out.
Very 70s, yeah.
If I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar.
Okay, nice the way that's done. Watermelon sugar, watermelon sugar, He didn't sing the same notes. I think he's saying either, but he didn't sing the same note each time. watermelon sugar, watermelon sugar, He subtly lowered it. I'd have to hear it again, but I could tell he was changing it up there. Let's listen to some more. Okay, second verse now. We still got that breezy rhythm, but I hear what sounds like either a real electric guitar or a virtual electric guitar being played on a keyboard. But let's play this again, but it's going bam, da 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 dam, kind of like that. Let me play it back here real quick and check it out again. Da 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 da. Yeah, once again, that quasi-electric guitar part, I don't know if it's real or virtual, but once again, bringing this in on the second verse gives it variety from the first verse. This is interesting because a lot of times when I hear a lot of modern pop, they don't do this. I remember many years ago, I talked about an early Bruno Mars recording that I listened to, and I did a review of it on this channel, and I mentioned that the first verse, second verse, and the third verses all sounded exactly alike, and it felt like it was cut and paste. They recorded it on a computer, cut and paste it for the second verse, cut and paste it for the third verse, no variations. And to me, that's just really boring. Because and then the irony would be I would see Bruno Mars on TV playing live with a real live band. The band was hot, they were smoking, and he was great. But a real band brings things to life in a way that a computer can't. And on the music that I was hearing on this early record of his, I forget what it was, but it was several years back, and it just felt very cut and paste because everything sounded exactly the same. Each verse sounded the same. And the bands that I grew up listening to, the music artists that I listened to, the records, they knew, or at least their producers knew, that you had to keep doing little variations between each verse. So you keep it interesting. And oftentimes with the choruses too, especially on the last chorus, you'd add more textures, more instruments, different background vocals to keep it interesting, help build it to a climax of some sort. And he seems to know this, or his producer knows this. I don't know anything about Harry Styles. This is my first time listening to him, reacting to him. I don't know how much he's involved with all of this, with the productions, with the arrangements. I don't know how much of it's him, how much of it's a producer, maybe a combination of both. I have no clue. But someone knows this and is doing this with these recordings. Let's hear some more. I don't know if you heard that, but there's like this guitar chord, yeah, yeah, right there. You probably heard it right underneath his vocals where he's saying, na na na, na na na, where he's singing right there. I think he said, breathe me in. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not looking at lyrics. Is he saying watermelon sugar high or watermelon sugar high? Not sure. But once again, you can hear how even that, there's slight variations. Did you hear that that was electric guitar, I'm pretty sure. Da-da, da-da, meow. Nice little texture in the background there. There it was again. Da-da, da-da, yeah. Very nice. That feels like electric guitar. It could easily be horns, ba-da, ba-da, ba-bow, like that. Okay, a little breakdown here. Just the guitar chords. Very common arrangement technique. Okay, here we are at the ending. He's singing the chorus again here at the ending, and you're hearing, like I talked about a moment ago, bringing more instruments in on the last chorus, because I can see we're almost at the end of the song here. So they're building it up here at the end. This is a lot of old school, but really tried and true arrangement techniques here that I don't hear on a lot of modern pop songs. Okay, we're almost at the end of the song here, but this is a nice song. Nice, pleasant song. I can't say too much about it because I'm only hearing it for the first time, but this deserves a second listen too. And I should give this one a second listen. Okay, one more. We're gonna check the third one out here. This is on the top tracks here. This song is called Adore You. This introduction was too short. There's a nice atmosphere being created here, but it just gets cut off way too quick. I know that long introductions just aren't the thing anymore right now. I grew up in an era where introductions gave you a chance to get the feel of the song before the vocal came in. They helped kind of lay a groundwork for you on the start, but here it's like it's so quick and then boom, here come the vocals. I really wish they could have stretched that out. If I'd been in the producer's chair, I would have said, let's at least go another 4 measures with that, please. At least. Okay, I responded to the first 2 songs way more positively than I thought I was going to. This, by comparison, feels so generic compared to the first 2, but let's keep listening. Wow, yeah, this feels real generic, but let's listen some more. Okay, you know what? In spite of how generic this sounds, I like that little part that comes right before each vocal, with a high vocal. Let me play that for you again here. Too high of a note for me to hit. Ba-da-da-da. That little part right there, I'm singing it like an octave lower, but that's a nice little bit. Let's listen to some more. That little midsection leading into the second verse actually had, once again, some nice little textures going in and out to keep it interesting before the next vocal comes in. Even though this song feels kind of generic, it's using some of the same tricks that the other songs did. Okay, again, a second verse, the drum texture, you know, in the background, on the drums, that was different from the first verse. Once again, nice use of textures and unexpected to use the drums. That's something, usually it's some other melodic instrument that gets used, but here it's the drums. That's a nice bit. There's that part again. Da, 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 da. Honestly, if I was in the producer's chair, I would elongate that. Da, 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 da. I wish I had an instrument here. I could play it for you with the higher notes. But I would say elongate that a little more. Let it play under the vocals. Nice little solo section right there. That feels very, I'm guessing that was played on the keys, but it feels very electric guitar sounding. It has a nice kind of aggressive flavor to it that I don't hear in a lot of modern pop songs. Again, this, like I said, song feels very generic, but it has some nice little bits inserted into it, which lifts it up a little bit. That might also be guitar synthesizer, an electric guitar, but played through a guitar synthesizer. Hard to say. So yeah, we're getting close to the end. It has a strong ending. It builds nicely, has a strong ending, which can help improve your overall feel of a song by the time you get to the end of it. But still, I would say the other first two songs were a lot better as songs themselves, just better, stronger songs. This one, not so much, but has some nice textures, instrumental bits thrown in, musical tricks that just elevate it up a bit more. And so those were the top three songs. That's all I'm going to do right now as far as listening. So that was a lot better than I was expecting. And those first two songs definitely deserve a second listen as far as I'm concerned. I want to go back to them. And maybe I'll check out one of his albums at a later time. I don't know. But I thought those first two were pretty darn good. Anyways, though, that's my first time reaction listening to this. Maybe I'll do this more often. If there's anyone like modern artists, that chances are I haven't really listened to them that much. There's, like I said, I hear a lot of great new music coming out all the time, but they're usually not charting on the streaming services or on radio. They're not charting. They're not getting the kind of attention they deserve, and that's because the algorithms, whatever you want to call it, everything's just kind of geared towards, music that's not played by real musicians, that's how I think music should be heard. Not auto-tuned, real players playing real instruments. But there were real instruments in this song, I know some of it is they're using computers for some of it, and that's a whole lot better, at least if it's a mix. At least there's more that I can relate to. Those are just my feelings, and maybe I'm just an old man yelling at the cloud. But anyways, though, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think. If you want to recommend a Harry Styles album that I should listen to, I'm always open. Leave me your suggestions. As always, if you like what I do here, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. A big thank you to my Patreon supporters who are fierce and mighty in helping me make more videos. Patreon supporters get exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel. If you'd like to be a supporter, go to patreon.com/TJR the original. And everybody, thank you for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. I think it's a pretty cool shirt.